What up? What up? What up? What up? What's going on, everybody? You're tuned in to the Lineage Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. MJ Reese. Got my co-host, my partner, my brother with me, Mr. Allen M. Reese. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good, bro.
Man, we got a full show today. I
We do.
promise you that. Before we get started, man, we got to pay a couple bills. You know, we have to mention the great autobiography of Mr. Frederick D. Reese entitled Selma Self-Sacrifice,
Co-written by.
co-written by Mrs. Kathy Walters. Man, it's a great book, great read. You can get that at Amazon, www.amazon.com. You can also get it at the new website, www.historyonapparel.com, in ebook form. You can also get it at www.fdreese.com. It should be no excuses.
No excuse.
None, no excuses. Now, you know we have the call-in number now for the Lineage Podcast. The number is 404-448-1641. Once again, the number is 404-448-1641. Call in. We would love to hear your opinions if you want to say, hey, see how we doing. And most of all, man, keep giving the love that you've been giving. So we love for that. Now, for this show, first topic, we got a couple of things. Well, we got a topic and we also got an opinion corner by yours truly. But the topic we want to talk about the first time is entitled "No Country for Old Men." And let me give a little insight on what we want to talk about that. Is it fair to ask the more seasoned gentleman to move aside? And when I say that, I mean, like, at a certain age, are you becoming out of touch with the generation? And I'm gonna just throw a couple of names out there. Mr. Elijah Cummings, who is 68 years old, member of Congress since 1996 for 23 years. He had heart surgery in 2017. Mr. Al Sharpton is 64 years old. Mr. Jesse Jackson is 77 years old. And Mr. John Lewis is 79 years old. He's on his 17th term. Now, before we get into it, bro, because I know you got something to say about this.
I got something to say.
Before we get into it, we are not taking no shots at anybody.
No, we're not.
We want to say that we not doing it. That's not why we in the business. We just want to hear people's opinion, because we had a few of our supporters get in touch with us and say, Reese brothers, what about the disconnection with the generation? And it's a fair question to ask.
It is.
Yeah. So what do you think about that? No Country for Old Men.
Me personally, I think it's time for them to be in an emeritus.
Okay. The emeritus
position.
Okay, emeritus.
You know,
Explain that. Explain emeritus.
Emeritus is a position that basically you are retired,
Mm-hmm.
but they continue to use you in certain situations.
Got you. Okay.
You're a person that gives wisdom, but you're not at the forefront.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
Because I can go back to FD.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, FD didn't hold a political seat after 1984.
That is true. That is true.
It was a reason for that.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
He knew he had his time.
Right.
And he was a pastor for the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm.
But he also had his foot in the door as a person to give wisdom to the younger generation.
Okay, we got a caller already. Let's answer that and see what. Thank you for calling in to the Lineage Podcast. How you doing? What is your name? Where you calling from?
I think we got him in. Say it again.
Hello.
Jessica from Powder Springs.
Say it one more time. Say your name.
Jessica from Powder Springs.
Jessica from Powder Springs. How you doing today?
I'm well, thank you.
I'm good. Do you want to talk about the topic at hand? What's your opinion on the No Country for Old Men? On the No Country for Old Men?
I don't really have enough information to form an opinion right now, so I'm actually tuning in to get more info.
Okay.
First, can you turn your laptop or your phone down? Cause we're getting a lot of feedback from you.
Yes, hold on.
While she doing that, man, I kind of gonna finish my
That better?
oh, yeah, that's better.
Hello?
Yeah, that's better. So what did you want to know about the the question at hand. Do you think it's still a country for old men? I'm sorry, y'all. We had to drop that.
Yeah, we lost her.
We lost the call. Yeah.
Yeah, well, once again, what we're talking about is no country for old men. You can still call in 404-448-1641. Which you hopefully you can have your iPad or your computer down so we can get all the levels right and everything. But like once again, like I said, is it a disconnection with the generation when it comes to the seasoned gentlemen? Do they need to move aside?
I think they do, Jay. I think they do. I think it's time for places like CNN and Fox News to stop calling people like Al Sharpton. I think it's time for them to start calling people like David Banner, Killer Mike, and let those people, don't get me wrong, let Al Sharpton sit back and give those people wisdom, but allow us and let us do things like we do it. They might not always agree.
Okay.
The older generation might not agree with that. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But, let us go on with our method. Because what happens is that when you have us who's trying to do things different and trying to approach, racism or, anything that's dealing with superiority.
Yeah.
When we're trying to approach that different, we're not going to always use the same method they use.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? So if they're calling Al or John trying to get us to act a certain way, you're not going to get a good answer, because we feel, though, as John, they need to move out the way, because sometimes they don't handle things like we need to handle things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And a lot of times we want to be more upfront and blunt, and they want to be like, hold on, y'all, let's chill.
Right.
But sometimes you can't chill.
You can't chill.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
You can't chill. You can't sit back and not say anything. Or I believe in the peaceful method, but I think we should go a little further than just going up to the door and marching. You know what I'm saying? John Lewis and them has been in office too long. Why we don't have a contract?
Right.
See, well, I always go back with this. Martin Luther King and F.D. Reese and John Lewis knew the importance of, they got to abide by what's on paper.
Correct.
The Constitution is on paper.
It's on paper. That's true.
You go to the dealership, you buy a car, you're going to abide by what's on paper.
That is true.
You buy a home, you're going to sign a contract, what's on paper.
That is true.
So what we need to do, just like they did, they challenged the letter of the law. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But now, since we have risen and we're more intertwined, sometimes they have the method of, man, we can kind of finesse this out. And sometimes we sit back saying we can't finesse it.
We don't like that.
You know
that
what
is
I'm
true.
saying?
That's true. That's true.
And so what that does is a disconnect with the government in the black community, because the leaders that are in the black community want to finesse things.
True.
So
True.
I think they have to say, look, and we have to go to them and say, look, we appreciate the work you have done. Real talk.
Right.
But we feel, though, as you're still needed. Don't get me wrong. We still want you to be a part of it, but we don't want you to be the face. We don't want you to be the person when you think about the black culture for them to call first.
True.
It's a lot of young activists that's out there now that needs to get the phone call.
Right.
When issues come about. You know what I'm saying?
That is true. That is true.
So that's my take on it, man. And also I don't think right now even Jesse Jackson. I don't think Jesse Jackson should be the represent the black culture. Look, I love Jesse. When I say these things, look, it is not saying that I do not like these people. I've met Jesse. I go to the Jubilee. I'm in Selma. I know the movement.
Right.
But even my granddad, look, he understood my time is past. Let these young people take the torch.
That's right.
And I'm behind them.
That's right.
So stop calling Jesse to when things go on to talk to the black culture.
That's true. That's
he
true.
got to sit back.
That is true.
Jesse got to sit back. I love John Lewis. I talk to him and see him all the time. But they got to sit back.
Yeah.
Because what it's going to do is going to hurt us 10 years from now.
That is true. We got
You
some
know what
people.
I'm saying?
We got some opinions going on.
So
Since we having technical difficulties a little bit, you can post your opinion on Facebook, Instagram. We here everywhere, so you can post your opinion, and we'll definitely mention it while we're doing it. Mr. Melvin Brown, one of our good friends, said we don't have to march. We can log out or not log in. The new boycott can start from your phone. I agree with that. I agree with that because some of the times the tools that we're using now, it's bringing a lot of the disservices and the disconnect to the forefront. It really is doing that, and so I completely agree with that.
let's try this phone call.
Yeah, let's
We're gonna
do it.
try, even though we're having technical difficulties. We want people to call in. We're gonna try.
Thanks for calling the Lineage Podcast. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Quita calling out of Douglasville.
How you doing, Quita from Douglasville? How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Doing good. Did you have an opinion on the subject that matter?
I am pretty much agreeing with everything you guys have said so far on this topic.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like mine.
Yeah, there you go. Like mine.
So do you have anything specific to say about anything we just talked about? I want to hear your opinion from your mouth.
It's a tough
I will
one.
say that I appreciate the work that they have put in. Jesse. Al is a little sketchy, but I appreciate the work.
Okay.
But it's time for them to stop using our people to get ahead.
That's
using
right.
our situations to get ahead.
Yeah, totally agree.
That's right. And you're right about that. But they have to. I think this is very important. It's like a quarterback that's in his twilight years finna retire. It's very important for him to teach the backup. It's very important for our leaders, John Lewis, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson. It's very important for them to allow, as they go forward, to put the young activists at the table with them to bridge the gap. It's very important. Even if you don't agree with their method, we have to have a seat at the table.
That is true.
While they're at the table. Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I know, man. We got to push that issue. Not only should they move aside, but let us have a seat at the table while they're still at the table. So I really appreciate your call.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
We really do, man. Continue to follow us and keep on chiming in, man. We really appreciate it, and we really thank you for this phone call. You make sure you have a blessed day.
Thank you guys for having me.
Hey, no problem.
And allowing my input.
No problem. Thank you. Yeah, Quita got a point, man.
Yeah, she got a point.
She really do have a point.
Yeah, and a lot of us feel this way, MJ.
That's true.
But we have grace, and sometimes we are people that give chances and maybe too many chances.
Too many.
What I'm saying? We are loving and forgiving people, man. You know what I'm saying? But
that is true.
It's time for us to have a serious conversation with our black leaders, and no disrespect to them.
Yeah.
They Hall of Famers.
Yeah, right. Right.
But even a Hall of Famer, even Deion Sanders lost some steps.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Is up.
Time up, man.
Yeah.
We got to move forward.
That's right.
Do we have any more callers on this subject, man? Call in before we move on. This is a great subject that if you have an opinion on it and you feel strongly about, is it a country for old men? Like I say, the how we put it out there, some people might